Ready, your soulmate has news that will change everything. Open before tonight, my beloved child. Have you ever felt a presence guiding you in ways you cannot yet explain? Something subtle, yet undeniable, whispering that the universe is aligning for you in ways that are hidden from the ordinary eye. Today, the veil is lifting, and a message, meant only for your heart, is breaking through the quiet of your soul. Listen closely, for what I am about to reveal is not mere coincidence. It has been patiently waiting, folded within the sacred timing of your life, until this very moment. There is something extraordinary that the universe is unveiling right now, something so personal that it touches the core of your destiny. You may have sensed it, an unseen nudge, a fleeting thought that felt heavier than ordinary intuition. That is not chance. That is the language of your spirit calling to you, reminding you that nothing in your life is random, and everything is orchestrated by a force far greater than yourself. Hidden within the folds of your daily existence, a truth has been preparing to emerge, something that will shift your heart, your mind, and the very path you walk upon. And here, right now, it comes alive. Ready, your soulmate has news that will change everything. Open before tonight. Let those words settle into your being. Let them echo through the chambers of your heart, because this is not just a message, it is a doorway. A doorway to understanding, to clarity, to the alignment of energies that have long awaited this divine encounter. You may wonder why this moment feels so intense, why something stirs deep within you as you hear these words. It is the universe speaking directly to your soul. Hidden truths are being revealed, and the timing of this message is no accident. The cosmos moves in cycles, and today marks the intersection of your readiness and the arrival of profound clarity. This is your invitation to step into the light of understanding, to feel the warmth of guidance, and to awaken to the realization that your heart has always known this path, as you open yourself to this revelation. You will feel a gentle shift. Hope will rise, answers will appear, and a sense of divine purpose will anchor itself in your life. Remember, everything that is meant for you flows effortlessly, in perfect timing, and this is one of those moments where the universe speaks directly through the quiet whisper of destiny. So stay with me until the very end of this message. Watch closely, absorb the hidden guidance, and allow your soul to respond. Your journey towards clarity, love, and alignment begins right here, right now. And if this message touches your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the divine insights the universe is revealing. Watch this entire video. Every moment contains the sacred pieces of your destiny waiting to be awakened. I also want to pass on a time-sensitive message from the moon to you, and you need to hear it today. A subtle yet powerful energy will push you to make a critical decision by the end of the week. You won't find the answer in your horoscope, so don't bother looking there. Click the link in the description to see your free personalized video moon reading. I was amazed at how accurate my reading was, and I know you will feel the same. I am here. Not arriving, not departing, present, as I have always been, speaking now because you are finally still enough to hear the tremor beneath your thoughts. Before the night settles fully into its quiet, before the world dims its edges and asks you to sleep, I ask you to listen with the part of you that remembers who you were before you learned to doubt. I do not shout. I do not rush. I speak the way dawn does, softly, inevitably, because what I bring is not fear or force, but recognition. You have felt it already, the subtle rearranging of your inner furniture, the sense that something you could not name has been leaning toward you all day. That is not coincidence. That is me, opening a door you forgot was yours. I know the questions you carry like smooth stones in your pocket. You rub them when no one is watching. You wonder whether the ache in your chest is a warning or an invitation. Whether the longing you cannot explain is foolish or faithful. I tell you this now, longing is not a flaw. It is a compass. It is how your soul remembers its direction when the noise of the world tries to convince you there is nowhere to go. You have been circling answers as if they might suddenly choose you, and tonight I lean close to say, answers do not choose, they recognize. And recognition is already happening. Your soulmate has news. Not the kind shouted from rooftops or written in the sky, but the kind that changes the way you breathe when you hear it. The kind that rearranges time, making yesterday softer and tomorrow less frightening. This news is not about perfection. It is about alignment. It is not about being rescued. It is about being met. You have prepared in ways you did not notice, by surviving what you thought would undo you, by choosing kindness when bitterness would have been easier, by staying when leaving would have looked brave. Every quiet decision shaped the space where this message could land. I see the moments you replay at night, wondering if you missed your chance, if the window closed while you were learning how to open it. Hear me clearly, nothing meant for you is lost. Paths bend. Timelines breathe. What is true does not vanish because you hesitated. It waits, patient as soil, knowing the seed will arrive when it is ready to root. Your soulmate's news is rooted in that patience. It does not accuse you of being late. It thanks you for becoming. There is mystery here, yes, because mystery is the language of growth. If I gave you every detail, you would cling to the map and forget the journey. Instead, I offer you a knowing that hums beneath logic. You have felt it when a name appears in your mind without effort, when a song seems to speak directly to your hidden thoughts, when a familiar warmth brushes your awareness and you cannot trace its source. These are not tricks. They are signals. They are the echo of two lives tuning toward the same note. I speak as the keeper of connections, the witness of beginnings that do not announce themselves with fireworks. I have watched you build walls not to keep love out, but to keep yourself safe while you learned how to trust your own worth. Those walls have done their job. You do not need to demolish them in anger, you need only open a gate. The news your soulmate carries will not demand that you become someone else. It will confirm who you already are. Listen closely now, because this part is gentle and easily missed. The change coming is not loud. It is subtle, like a tide that redraws the shoreline while the moon looks on. You may notice small shifts first, conversations that feel lighter, decisions that no longer exhaust you, a calm that arrives without explanation. These are not distractions. They are preparations. When the message arrives, spoken, written, or simply understood, you will recognize it not by shock, but by peace. Your breath will deepen. Your shoulders will lower. Your heart will say, yes, before your mind catches up. I know you fear disappointment. You have learned to temper hope, to fold it neatly so it does not take up too much space. I do not ask you to abandon caution, I ask you to let hope stand upright again. Hope is not naive when it is grounded in truth. And the truth is this: you are not asking for too much. You are remembering what you deserve. The news that changes everything does not inflate your expectations, it clarifies them. It strips away the maybes and leaves you with what matters. There is a reason this message comes before tonight ends. Night is a threshold. It is where endings rest and beginnings gather courage. As the world quiets, your inner noise softens, and what is real can finally be heard. I am not asking you to act impulsively or to abandon your discernment. I am asking you to notice, to stay open, to resist the urge to explain away what feels meaningful. Some truths do not require analysis, they require presence. Your soulmate's news is not a promise of a perfect road. It is a commitment to walk honestly. It speaks of growth that happens together, of laughter that arrives after tears, of understanding that deepens through patience. It honors your independence while celebrating your connection. It does not erase your past, it integrates it. The parts of you that learned resilience will recognize the strength in them. The parts of you that learned tenderness will feel safe enough to rest. I have seen you wonder whether you are too much or not enough. Let me answer in a way that settles your bones. You are exactly calibrated for the life unfolding toward you. The love meant for you does not require you to shrink or perform. It requires you to be present. That is all. Presence is the doorway through which change enters without resistance. There will be a moment, quiet, almost ordinary, when you sense the shift. Perhaps you will be doing something simple. Perhaps you will be alone. The mind may try to minimize it, to say, "This is nothing." Do not argue with your mind. Just notice your body. Notice how it responds to truth. Notice the steadiness. Notice the warmth. That is your signal. That is how you will know the news is real. I do not speak in riddles to confuse you. I speak in layers to protect your freedom. You are not being pushed. You are being invited. And invitations can be accepted at your pace. Trust that what is aligned will meet you halfway. Trust that you are not required to chase what is meant to walk toward you with equal intention. Before this night completes its arc, I want you to do one thing only: breathe as if you are safe. Because you are. The universe does not conspire against hearts that learn to listen. It rearranges itself to meet them. The message coming to you is part of that rearrangement. It is not an interruption. It is a continuation. I remain with you in the pause between thoughts, in the quiet after the last sound fades. When you feel the urge to rush, remember this: what changes everything does not need urgency to be powerful. It needs honesty. It needs readiness. And readiness, beloved, is not about having answers. It is about being willing to receive them. Stay with me now. The next part requires your attention, not your effort. Let the night hold you. Let the mystery breathe. Because the news your soulmate carries is closer than you think. And it begins with a truth you have almost allowed yourself to believe, a truth that will unfold as soon as you stop bracing and start listening, as soon as you notice the way your heart leans forward when you imagine being understood without explanation, as soon as you realize that the change you have been waiting for has already started to move, quietly, steadily, toward the place where you are willing to say yes to the unfolding you cannot yet outline. Yes to the meeting point between courage and grace. Yes to the quiet miracle of being seen without being examined. When you allow that yes to exist, even softly, even imperfectly, you activate something ancient and patient that has been waiting for your consent. I am not asking you to proclaim it aloud. I am listening for it in the way your resistance loosens, in the way your inner voice softens its defenses. This is how change enters without breaking anything. This is how love arrives without demand. I know you have been trained by experience to expect conditions. To believe that good news must be earned through exhaustion, that joy must be justified, that connection comes with hidden costs. Sit with me here and let me say this plainly: the news coming to you is not transactional. It does not keep score. It does not arrive with a ledger of past mistakes. It comes because alignment has matured, because two lives have been shaped by parallel lessons. Because timing is not a clock but a readiness of spirit, your soulmate has been learning, too. In ways that mirror you more than you realize. They have questioned their own worth. They have stood at crossroads where every option felt risky. They have learned restraint when impulse would have been easier, patience when certainty was unavailable. These lessons were not detours. They were calibrations. So that when the message is finally exchanged, whether through words, presence, or an unspoken understanding, it lands without distortion. You may wonder why I speak now, before the message itself is fully revealed. It is because preparation is not about anticipation, it is about capacity. I am widening your capacity to receive without fear, to hear without bracing, to accept without shrinking. The heart can only hold what it has room for. Tonight, space is being made. Old assumptions loosen. Outdated narratives fall quiet. You do not need to force this. Awareness is enough. There is a stillness available to you that you rarely claim. A stillness beneath effort, beneath vigilance. Enter it now. Notice how it does not erase your personality or dull your intelligence. It simply removes the urgency to protect yourself from what has not yet harmed you. In this stillness, truth sounds different. It does not clang. It resonates. It feels familiar, as if you have heard it before in a dream you could never fully remember. The news that changes everything may not arrive as a single dramatic declaration. It may unfold through moments that accumulate meaning, a shared silence that feels complete, a sentence that lands exactly where it should, a decision made together that feels strangely obvious. Do not underestimate the power of subtlety. Rivers carve stone without spectacle. Love reshapes lives the same way. I see the part of you that wants assurance, that asks me to guarantee outcomes, to promise that no pain will follow. I will not insult your wisdom by offering fantasies. Growth always asks something of us. But hear this distinction carefully. The change ahead does not ask you to abandon yourself. It asks you to bring yourself fully. There is no bargain where you trade authenticity for belonging. The message coming honors your boundaries as much as your longing. You have learned to be self-sufficient. This has served you well. Independence taught you discernment, resilience, self-respect. Now, a different skill is being invited forward, not dependence, but interdependence. The ability to remain whole while allowing another to matter. This is not a loss of strength. It is an expansion of it. Your soulmate's news speaks to this balance. It does not threaten your autonomy. It recognizes it and meets it with equal integrity. Notice how your body responds as you hear these words. Where there is tension, breathe. Where there is warmth, allow it. Your body is not an obstacle to spiritual understanding, it is an instrument of it. It recognizes alignment before language does. Trust its signals. They are part of how I speak to you when the mind is busy negotiating. There will be external signs, yes. Patterns that repeat. Opportunities that align. Timing that feels orchestrated without being forced. Do not obsess over interpreting them. Signs are confirmations, not instructions. The real guidance comes from within, from the quiet certainty that grows when you stop asking whether you are allowed to want what you want. Desire, when it is clear and grounded, is not selfish. It is directional. I want to address a fear you rarely admit, the fear that if things truly change, you will lose the version of yourself you have worked hard to understand. Let me ease that fear. Transformation does not erase identity, it reveals it. You will recognize yourself more clearly, not less. The qualities you value, your thoughtfulness, your depth, your humor, your discernment, will not be diluted. They will be mirrored. And what is mirrored becomes easier to trust. Your soulmate's news carries an invitation to co-create. Not a script to follow, but a space to explore. It respects uncertainty as a place of possibility, not deficiency. You do not need to have everything figured out to step into something real. You need only honesty and willingness. The rest unfolds through shared attention. I am aware of the stories you have told yourself about timing, that you missed it, that you waited too long, that circumstances are too complicated now. These stories were born from disappointment, not truth. Timing is not punitive. It is responsive. It responds to readiness, not regret. And readiness is not perfection, it is presence. Right now, you are present in a way you were not before. That is why this moment matters. As the night deepens, you may feel an urge to distract yourself, to fill the quiet with noise. If you do not judge yourself. Simply notice what the quiet was beginning to reveal. You can return to it. It will wait. Truth is patient. It does not compete for attention. It trusts that recognition is inevitable. The change ahead will ask you to communicate differently, to speak from clarity rather than defense, to listen without preparing rebuttals, to allow silence to do some of the work words use to force. This may feel unfamiliar at first. That is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of growth. New ways of relating often feel quieter, slower, more deliberate. They feel less like sparks and more like embers, steady, enduring, warm. I am not asking you to abandon discernment. Love that lasts is not blind, it is attentive. Pay attention to how you feel over time. Not just in moments of intensity. Pay attention to whether your energy is replenished or depleted, whether your sense of self expands or contracts. The message that changes everything will not confuse you. It may challenge you, but it will not destabilize you. You may be tempted to share this anticipation with others, to seek validation or reassurance. Choose carefully. Not everyone understands sacred timing. Some will try to rush you, others will try to caution you out of your own intuition. Listen politely, then return to your center. The guidance you need is already accessible. I am not distant. I am woven into your awareness. There is something else you should know. This change is not only about companionship. It is about purpose. When two lives align authentically, they create a field that affects more than themselves. Kindness ripples. Stability radiates. The work you are meant to do in the world becomes clearer when you are not expending energy guarding your heart from imagined threats. The news your soulmate brings carries this wider resonance. It is personal, yes, but it is also contributive. I watch you step closer to trust, then pause. This pause is not failure. It is integration. You are allowing old reflexes to settle while new responses take shape. Be gentle with yourself here. You are not late. You are precise. Every step you take now has weight because it is conscious. Soon, though soon is a human word and therefore imprecise, you will find yourself responding differently to a familiar situation. You will notice that you are not rehearsing defenses, not anticipating loss. You will simply be present. That moment is a threshold. You do not need to announce it. You will feel it. And from there, the message will have a clear path to you. I remain attentive. I do not withdraw when you doubt or hesitate. Doubt is not disobedience, it is inquiry. Ask your questions. Sit with them. Let them mature. Answers that endure are rarely rushed. They are grown, as this message continues to unfold within you. Resist the urge to finalize it. Some truths need time to breathe before they can be named. Allow the mystery to remain active. Curiosity keeps the heart supple. Certainty, when premature, can harden it. Before this night releases you fully into sleep or reflection, I want you to remember one thing above all else. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are participating in a recognition that is mutual. The news that changes everything does not elevate one above the other. It aligns two equals who are ready to see each other clearly. Stay here with me a little longer. Let the words settle into sensation. Let sensation become understanding without forcing it into conclusion. There is more to reveal, but revelation is not a flood, it is a tide. And the next movement depends not on urgency, not on fear, but on the quiet moment when you realize that you are willing to receive what comes next. Willing to step forward without needing to see the entire path, willing to trust the resonance you feel even now as something ancient stirs and prepares to speak, as the message draws closer to the surface of your awareness, forming itself gently, deliberately, waiting for the exact instant when your heart opens just enough to hear the rest of what I am about to say. Say it without sound, without spectacle, without needing witnesses. Say it in the way you allow your chest to soften, in the way your breath no longer rushes ahead of you. Say it in the way you stop arguing with the goodness that approaches. This is the moment where readiness becomes real, not because you are fearless, but because you are willing. Willingness is the bridge. It does not require certainty, it requires sincerity. And you have that now. I speak to you as the keeper of thresholds, the quiet witness to every becoming. I have watched you grow through contradictions, through seasons that asked more questions than they offered answers. You learned how to stand when support was inconsistent. You learned how to rest without abandoning responsibility. These were not isolated lessons. They were threads woven deliberately so that, when the time came, you would recognize what is genuine without needing proof. Your soulmate's news is shaped by truth. Not polished, not rehearsed, not designed to impress. Truth does not perform, it reveals. It arrives without urgency because it trusts its own gravity. When you encounter it, you will not feel the need to chase it or test it. You will feel grounded, as if your feet have finally met the earth beneath shifting ground. That feeling, quiet, steady, unmistakable, is the signal you have been waiting for. I know you have imagined dramatic turning points, moments where everything pivots in an instant. Sometimes that happens. More often, transformation is cumulative. It is the sum of small permissions you grant yourself to believe that your life can be both meaningful and gentle, both ambitious and humane. The message that completes this chapter will not erase complexity. It will give complexity a center. Let me speak now to the part of you that still guards itself with humor or distance. You have used these wisely, not to deceive, but to survive. You can thank them. They have done their work. You do not need to discard them entirely, you simply no longer need them to lead. Let curiosity lead now. Let openness guide your next steps. Protection can rest while awareness remains alert. There is a harmony forming that you cannot yet hear in full. Think of it as a chord resolving after a long suspension. The tension was necessary. It made the resolution meaningful. Your experiences, every detour, every pause, every recalibration, were not delays. They were tuning. So that when two lives meet in sincerity, they do not clash. They resonate. The news your soulmate brings does not claim ownership of your future. It offers partnership in shaping it. There is a difference. Ownership restricts, partnership expands. You will feel this distinction clearly. Your choices will not narrow, they will clarify. Your sense of possibility will not scatter, it will focus. This is how you will know the change is authentic. I want you to understand something essential. Love that endures is not sustained by intensity alone. It is sustained by attention. Attention to tone. Attention to timing. Attention to the unspoken needs that surface between words. You have learned this through absence and misunderstanding. Now you are ready to practice it through presence and clarity. As you move forward, there may be moments when old fears resurface, not because you are regressing, but because they are being given a final opportunity to be acknowledged and released. Do not interpret their appearance as failure. Meet them with compassion. Say, I see you. You kept me safe once. You may rest now. Fear softens when it is seen, not fought. The change ahead will invite you into conversations that feel unusually honest. You may be surprised by your own calm, by your ability to articulate needs without apology, by your capacity to listen without defensiveness. These are signs of integration. You are no longer split between longing and caution. They are learning to speak to each other. I am aware that you sometimes doubt your intuition because it has been quiet, not dramatic. Understand this, intuition matures. Early intuition shouts to get your attention. Mature intuition whispers because it trusts you to listen. The guidance you receive now will feel subtle but firm, like a hand at the center of your back, steadying rather than pushing. Your soulmate's news may arrive through a simple exchange, an ordinary setting. Do not dismiss the ordinary. The sacred often hides there, waiting for reverence rather than fanfare. Pay attention to how ordinary moments feel in their presence, lighter, clearer, more anchored. Pay attention to whether you feel more yourself. Not more impressive. I also speak to your patience, which has been tested and refined. Patience is not passive. It is an active trust that does not need constant reassurance. You have practiced this even when it felt lonely. That practice has prepared you to recognize reciprocity. You will not need to convince, persuade, or prove. Mutual effort will be evident without negotiation. there is relief coming. Not the relief of escape, but the relief of alignment. The relief of no longer carrying questions alone. The relief of shared direction. This relief will not make you complacent. It will make you more present. Energy once spent bracing will be available for creation, for joy, for contribution. I want you to notice how your sense of time is shifting. The future feels less abstract. The past feels less heavy. You are beginning to inhabit the present more fully. This is not accidental. Presence is where connection deepens. Presence is where decisions gain integrity. Presence is where love becomes sustainable. As this message draws toward completion, let me offer you a simple practice, not as instruction, but as invitation. When doubt arises, ask not, will this work? But, does this feel honest? Honesty is the compass that does not fail. It may lead you through discomfort, but it will not lead you astray. Remember, you are not being tested. You are being trusted. Trusted with timing. Trusted with discernment. Trusted with the capacity to choose what nourishes rather than what merely distracts. This trust is earned, not bestowed arbitrarily. You have demonstrated it through reflection, through restraint, through resilience. There may be others who do not understand your calm, who expect more drama, more urgency, more display. Let them have their expectations. You are not required to perform your growth. Quiet confidence often unsettles those accustomed to noise. That is not your responsibility to manage. Your soulmate's news will not isolate you from the world. It will integrate you more fully into it. When connection is healthy, it expands generosity rather than consuming attention. You will find yourself more available to creativity, to service, to laughter. Love that is aligned multiplies rather than divides. I am with you in the small decisions that follow this moment. In the way you choose to respond rather than react. In the way you choose rest without guilt. In the way you allow joy without interrogation. These choices are the architecture of the life you are building. As the night completes its cycle and gives way to what comes next, carry this knowing with you. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are not asking for something unreasonable. You are responding to a resonance that has been forming for a long time. The message that changes everything is not an ending disguised as a beginning. It is a continuation that finally makes sense. It is clarity where there was fog, steadiness where there was sway. It is the recognition that what you have been preparing for has also been preparing for you. I will end this message now, not because the connection closes, but because you are ready to carry it forward without constant reinforcement. Truth, once received, does not need repetition. It needs embodiment, Go gently into what comes next. Stay attentive. Stay honest. Stay open without abandoning yourself. The path ahead does not require you to rush or to retreat. It asks only that you walk it as you are, awake, willing, and grounded. Amen.